Now on to their second statement. And don't worry, it gets faster. I lumped some of them together for one thing. Creationism has recently grown in the United States, according to a Gallup Inc. survey. Recently, evolution-unfriendly laws have been passed in the United States. Theologically conservative Bible clubs are proliferating across the United States at a rapid rate, and creationists will certainly make alliances with them. This could spread around the world. Well, this is certainly of concern, if true. Creationism challenges the basic tenets of biology and geology and aspects of physics and chemistry. I can imagine their sources for the proliferation of Bible clubs, but see no independent confirmation. Sadly, politicians are trying to pass evolution-unfriendly laws. This will do nothing but result in an increase in scientific literacy in this country, and therefore threatens our country's future. Now let's look at these Gallup polls. I know this graphic may be hard to see, but now let me try to make it easier. Okay. Now note that the percent of people who believe that humans evolved, but God had no part in the process, has slowly but steadily increased. Although it may look like there is a leap between 2010 and 2012 of those who believe that God created humans in their present form, the current percentage is actually less than that recorded in 1993 and 1999. It's the same as 2006, and only 1% more than 2001 and 2004. There's no great change overall. There's no great increase. You might also notice that the poll asked about the evolution of humans, not evolution overall. There are those who believe in evolution except for humans, believing that we alone are a special creation. They are not counted. This is called lying through statistics, but as we've already seen with the previous table, they aren't very good at interpreting statistics. Now on to the next three, and I'm going to deal quickly with them. Number 3, theologically conservative Christianity and creationism is growing quickly in various Western nations, in Latin America, in Asia, and in Africa. Number 4, the shrinking of global atheism, agnosticism will affect Western agnosticism, atheism in an age of globalization, immigration, global communication and travel, etc. Number 5, the decline of global atheism, agnosticism is expected to accelerate. So I'm going to deal with all three of these together. As we go through these statements, you'll notice they're repeating themselves. Question 1 dealt with the decline of atheism and the growth of evangelicism and creationism. So do these three, and so do more. So for number 3, their sources are biased. Independent research, please. Number 4, if there is shrinkage, that is, an increase in interest in real science will also affect agnosticism and atheism. It's likely to increase agnosticism and atheism. And number 4, by whom? Sources, and not those of your making or of your fellow travelers. Now we come to number 6. Evangelical Christians are making rapid advances in internet evangelism. As a global media outreach in 2011 did 149 million gospel presentations via the internet. Prominent atheist websites have seen big drops in traffic in the last 5 years. This is an interesting question and speaks to two different things. First, they comment on an increasing amount of religious material on the internet. Well, this should hardly be surprising. There's an increase in all kinds of material on the internet. I wonder how searches on evangelical Christianity match up with searches for porn, or Jesus Christ versus porn. Anyone can make a website, or a web page, or a YouTube video, and more people become computer literate and computer savvy. More and more stuff's posted on the internet. Second, you'll notice they only mention prominent atheist websites, with no mention of how much internet traffic is dedicated to atheism in total. And I don't know how much internet traffic is dedicated to atheism in total either. I didn't bother to look it up. Since most of the people in the world claim some sort of religious affiliation, certainly atheist web traffic would be less, but has it increased or decreased? It could be that traffic to prominent sites has declined because there are an increasing number of options available. It could be the interest in atheism online has increased, but diversified. I haven't researched this, but apparently they haven't either. At least not real research. Number 7. Christian creation evangelists are communicating with their internet evangelism brethren with a goal of dramatically increasing creation evangelism on the internet and through offline methods. In addition, a plan has been developed to help accelerate the global decline of atheism, agnosticism, and the continued rapid growth of global Christianity and creationism. Atheists and agnostics have no plan to reverse their global decline in adherence. The internet again? Didn't we just do that? Now, haven't they been communicating for some time offline now? I mean, phones have been around for a while, and mail even longer. And my goodness, I would love to see their plan to help accelerate the global decline of atheism, agnosticism, and the continued rapid growth of global Christianity and creationism. I'll bet it doesn't look any different from the proselytizing they've been doing for ages. I think they're making up the atheists and agnostics have no plan part. I guess they haven't noticed all the conferences and blogs and YouTube videos, etc. I think they make a lot of stuff up. Number 8. Georgetown University study indicating that merely 30% of individuals raised by atheists remain atheists. So I tried to find this study, and I found this at the same site. And you can see they're referencing an article in the Christian Post. So I then went to the Christian Post article. And you can see that they're referencing Georgetown University Center for Applied Research in the Apostolate, or CARA. I then went to Mark Gray's entry at CARA's blog, where I found this chart. Now, in case you missed this, here it is again. Source: Pew Forum on Religion and Public Life, 2008. But what did the Question Evolution blogspot say? Georgetown University study indicating that merely 30% of individuals raised by atheists remain atheists. Georgetown University study? No, it was the Pew poll. This is confirmed later in the CARA article. Don't these people check their sources? Now, silly me, of course they don't. But one more thing. Later in the CARA blog, it points out, update note, some of the retention rates in the figures above were never provided in Pew's original report. These are calculated from the original data sets released by Pew for this study. In these data, there are 432 weighted respondents who say they were raised as atheists. A total of 131 of these individuals self-identify as atheists at the time of the survey, resulting in an estimated retention rate of 30%. However, there were a total of 1,387 atheists weighted, identified in the survey, equivalent to 1.6% of the adult population. What these findings reflect is that in the U.S., atheists are for the most part made as adults after being raised in another faith. It appears to be much more challenging to raise one's child as an atheist and have them maintain this identity in their life. Of those raised as atheists, 30% are now affiliated with a Protestant denomination, 10% are Catholic, 2% are Jewish, and 1% are Mormon. Now note that the percentages of those raised as atheists add up to 83%, so there's 17% missing. I haven't really looked at the original report or its data, so I can't comment here. But it is available online if you look for it, so if someone wants to check that out. It's no surprise that people turn to atheism in adulthood. I think a lot of us have seen that. People get an education and they start questioning some of the things that they were taught as kids. But you'll notice also that pagans are missing from this report. And the original Pew report, which I did glance at, makes a distinction between atheists and agnostics, whereas the chart shown at the CARA site only lists atheists. Where did the agnostics go? Now on to number 9. In the general population, a recent study suggests that most people believe in evolution based on a gut feeling. This is a complete lie. There's no other way to put it. The study they were referring to was done in Korea and surveyed people studying to be teachers, from Discovery.com. The researchers recruited 124 pre-service biology teachers at different stages in a standard teacher preparation program at 2 Korean universities. They choose to look at students in Korea because teacher preparation programs in the country are quite standardized. Quote, in Korea, people all take the same classes over the same time period and are all about the same age, so it takes out a lot of extraneous factors. And this was a quote from David Hari, who is a co-author of the study and is an associate professor of education at Ohio State University. This is hardly the general population. Again, can't they get their sources right? But why was this research done? Again, quoting from Discovery.com. Research on the matter, the acceptance of evolution, has been inconsistent. While one study would find a strong relationship between knowledge level and acceptance, another would not. Likewise, studies have contradicted each other on the relationship between religious identity and acceptance of evolution. And again, this is from Hari, and I may be mispronouncing his name wrong, but it's Haury. Anyway, he and his colleagues figured that another unexplored factor must be at work. Previous research has shown that the human brain doesn't judge the marriage of an idea solely on logic, but also on how intrinsically true the idea feels. So could this process of intuitive reasoning help explain why some people are more accepting of evolution than others? And further in this article, they found that intuition had a significant impact on what the students accepted, no matter how much they knew and regardless of their religious beliefs. Even students with a greater knowledge of evolutionary facts weren't more likely to accept the theory unless they also had a strong gut feeling about the facts, the results showed. This isn't about or just about why they accept evolution, but it's really about why they don't accept evolution, even when the facts have been laid out before them. This also explains why some reasonably intelligent people seem to be head blind to facts. The conclusion of the Discovery article said, "The study has important implications for the teaching of evolution," the researcher said. Well, informing students about this conflict between intuition and logic may help them judge ideas on their merits. Educationally, we think that's a place to start, Hari said. It's a concrete way to show them, look, you can be fooled and make a bad decision because you just can't deny your gut. Now, the study was published in the January 2012 issue of Journal of Research and Science Teaching, and there will be a link below to it. There will also be a link to the Ohio State site where this information originally came from. I just happened to run across the Discovery.com article first, which is also linked below. Now, I think this is very, very important. And I think it's very important for education of all kinds from the time we start teaching kids when they're young. And for those of us who are continuing to educate ourselves, the realization that sometimes things just don't feel right. But that's not logical. That's not reasonable. We have to be aware of that part of us, that part of our false intuition that fools us. And I do think this explains why people fall for things like creationism, why they refuse to believe in evolution, and why they buy conspiracy theories. Anyway, now for number 10. After experiencing Darwinist harassment in the recent past, creationists who are growing in power due to higher fertility rates, immigration, and evangelism will pull the plug on evolutionism being promoted in public schools. In addition, in an era of many governments being strapped for cash, more and more primary, secondary, and higher education schools will be privatized, and many of these schools will also be run by religious organizations. In addition, given that private schools are on average less costly to run, by the way, I'd like to see some data on that, didn't find any, there will be more vouchers and charter schools, and maybe that's why they're less costly to run. Anyway, there will be more vouchers and charter schools, which will increase religious schooling hostile to Darwinism. Also, many schools will have less funds to launch frivolous lawsuits against creationist students. Okay, this is scary. What they're doing is promoting a new scientific dark age, but I doubt that it will happen. But I definitely see a battle ahead, and I think you need to read this and remember it, because this is their vision for our future. It's theocracy rising. Fortunately, we have the National Center for Science Education, which assists schools, parents, and others in filing lawsuits when creationism is taught. Oh yeah, they forgot parents. Schools may not have the funds to launch lawsuits, but parents, with the help of the NCSE, the American Civil Liberties Union, and others will continue filing lawsuits, which these cash-strapped schools will have to fight.